All right, everything is ready. My crucible is prepared and ready to go. Got 20 pounds of iron weighed out. Seems like a good charge for that. Not too full, but not too empty. The waste oil line hooked up, ready to go. Got the propane line hooked up, ready to preheat. I think we're going to use the little furnace this time, just because I know I can get it that blinding white hot, and I want to get a meltdown done, so at least I know what to expect. And I'll work on the one that takes a little more preheat and nudging along before it's ready to really cook. So here we go.
Well, the stupid chaps kept falling down. By the end of it, they were actually like falling off, and my apron was falling apart. I'm going to say that pour didn't go as well as I hoped. First of all, I didn't even get to all my molds. There was so much slag that I had to peel off, if it was slag and not just foamy iron. I'm not sure. First time trying this. The stuff that was liquid poured okay. Didn't make it to the riser in the back, so obviously the whole gating system was not fully connected there, or it was connected but didn't run. But hopefully it filled through the other two gates. Didn't get to do my chill wedge or my little maple leaf, but I sure did fill up my slag dross bowl. Melted a pretty good hole in the wheel of that too. But on the plus side, now I know my fire extinguisher works. I gotta let this stuff cool down and bust these open in the morning. But I will come back out here to check on them in a bit and turn off the fan and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know if I really like running the oil burner in here or treating my little furnace that way. It's not really rated, it's not really built for iron service, but I wanted to. Now I've seen molten iron, so I know I can do it. Maybe I'll be braver about trying the big furnace, really get it going. Yeah, but we'll be back to check on these. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to get those chaps to stay up. But half my PPE was like dragging around my ankles as I was trying to pour this, and it did distract me. And I maybe would have tried to jack up the heat a little more before pouring if it wasn't for all that stuff going on. So you really do need to stay focused, and I'm still, for all the non-ferrous stuff, I kind of have it down to a routine. But there's some extra steps in this, the ferrosilicon, and we'll see what happens. Multiple wardrobe malfunctions of my assless chaps certainly conspired against me. Here's the aftermath of the crucible. It looks like the crucible held up well. Some weird white stuff on here. I don't know what that is. But there's some of the slaggy crap stuck to the inside. I tried to scrape out as best I could while it was still hot, but it wasn't hot enough to dislodge easily. I don't have high hopes for these molds. I poured the leftover whatever I had down there. I don't know if it got very far. It was pretty slushy and oatmeal-like by that time. Hopefully these guys filled at least, but we'll see what we see. I'll get the wheelbarrow out and I can break them open now. This thing is no good. This part here is just in the way. I'm gonna chop it off maybe there, grind it down into a circle, and follow old Foundryman's advice, how he said they should be done, because I thought maybe I'd just make it extra long and it would, as it deteriorated, I could cut it off, but no, I'll cut it off here and I'll save the rest. I'll just make a new one when I need one. All right, what have we got? Whoa, might have worked. Obviously there's a lot of sand stuck on there, but hey, it filled. It looks like I got some detail there. I'll have to brush it off. It doesn't look like it's too badly burned on. C-coal is working. Maybe I can break off the sprue. I mean, that looks gray to me. Maybe this iron casting thing isn't that hard after all, eh guys? I'm just kidding, man. I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm thrilled that it came out as well as that. You know what, even if it hadn't filled, this would still be a success. Really, these are all just tests. I don't actually need a cast iron skull-shaped ashtray. But if it had failed, I would have tried to figure out what I did wrong and how I could improve on it, because yeah, that's what. Oh, okay, well, we have a fail there. That didn't even try. I thought that would be the other way around, honestly. I figured
I might get the wrapping tools and not the ashtray. Oh yeah, maybe I still. Oh, see, look at that. Didn't get either of those either. But detail sure looks good on the part of the one I did get. I think I was right to assume that I poured this too cold. Even the very first one didn't fill. And mind you, these were done using what I know about gating systems for non-ferrous casting. And I have much to learn about casting iron and the different things you might have to do to make a good mold that will actually fill. So there could be more to it than just temperature, I suppose. But from the way it was going slushy on me, by the time I finished pouring the ashtray, I would say, and especially the fact that the first two just didn't even, iron's supposed to be that fluid that I really thought this would fill. But the detail looks good. At least I got something that filled, right? Well, there we go. Successful test, not a successful casting. There. The closest thing that I have to a chill wedge, but to me it looks like good gray iron. I'll see if I can file it or drill it or whatever. I'll do a few tests. Well, that's not where I wanted it to break at all. This was the iron that spilled onto the bottom board. Compare it to what do you experts think? Okay, now I'm seeing the white iron. I broke this little piece that was sitting on top of the mold, and you can see that the sides and the top surface are all turned white. That's the chilled iron that's you don't want. Just a very thin layer of it. All the other places where it broke, like here, are totally gray. That one's got the white. That's all gray. I don't know if this one's just a little bit thinner or what. This was on top of the mold, so everything that was inside the mold seems to have turned out nice gray cast iron. So I'm happy about that, even though stuff didn't fill. It's not the finest grain sand for detailed stuff like this, but wouldn't necessarily be doing detailed stuff like this with it too often. Okay, this is what we got.